Hello everyone and welcome back to UZEX News on UzReport TV channel, and today in our edition you can get acquainted with the latest exchange news and quotations as well as with the condition of the exchange market of cement. At the beginning of our program we traditionally offer you the results of trades on all trading platforms of UZEX market and the price dynamics of the top commodity positions. These were the main indicators of the UZEX exchange for the past week. Now let's dwell on the results of Uzbek Commodity Exchange for 9 months of 2020. So let's start with the trade turnover by months, and generally over the past months of this year, transactions worth about 38.2 trillion sums were concluded on all trading platforms of UZEX exchange, which is 21% more than the same period of the last year. On average, monthly deals were concluded worth 4.2 trillion sums. At the same time, transactions in the month of January amounted 3.6 trillion sums, as we can see on the diagram, and in the month of September that was over 4.3 trillion sums, as we can see on the graph. There are minor changes in the trade turnover structure. A significant part, or about 87% of it, falls on the exchange trading. That's what we can see on the diagram. Definitely, it's worth to mention that the government purchases are in the second place with a share of over 7%. That's what we can see, 7.3% to be exactly. In the system of exhibition and fair trade, transactions were concluded for almost 2 trillion sums, which is about 5% of the total turnover, as we can see on the graph. And the share of transactions concluded in the online auction for the sale of license plates is less than 1%. That's what we can see here on the graph. Let's dwell separately on the indicators of the participation of entrepreneurs in electronic trades. In general, the total volume of transactions concluded with the participation of businesses amounted to 14.6 trillion sums. At the same time, they purchased commodity resources for 9.9 trillion sums, that's what we can see on the graph, through the exchange, and sold their own products for 4.7 trillion sums, as we can see on the diagram. For 9 months of this year, goods sold through UZEX market reached $72.5 million, and Palestine took 48%. So the best performer here, as we can see on the diagram, is Palestine with 48% of the exchange export. The share of vegetable oil was 15%. And takes the second place, and the third top leadership position here is taken by cotton fiber, which goes with 11%. But at the same time, it's worth to mention about polypropylene, which goes with 9%. It's worth to mention about oil products, it goes with 12%. Feed for livestock goes 2%, and propane goes almost with the same 3% at the exchange export of UZEX platform. Let's go to the license plates, and as for the license plates, over 65.3 thousand license plates were sold through the exchange's online auction. Their sale amounted to 185 billion sum, as we can see on the graph, which is more than in 2019. We are moving on to a separate segment of the exchange market. In particular, we'll consider the cement market for January-October of 2020. Let's start with the monthly cement billing dynamics, and for the period from January to October 2020, the volume of cement sales through the exchange trading exceeded 7.1 million sums, which is practically at the level of the last year. The average monthly sales for the past period amounted to about 737,000 tons, and the highest indicator of exhibiting and selling cement is observed in the months of July, as we can see on the diagram, with 873.1 thousand tons, and by the end of the second decade of October, over 473,000 tons of cement were sold at the UZEX exchange trade platform. If we consider directly the structure of sellers, it can be noted that Kizilkum Cement retains its leadership position in 2020 with a share of almost 37% at the UZEX exchange trade platform. The second position is Al Malik Metal Mining Company, whose share has grown from 17 to 20%, which is definitely quite positive news for the consumers of cement at the exchange trade platform. The third top leadership position here is taken by Ahangaran Cement, on the other hand, which decreased from 19 to 17% at the UZEX platform. It's worth to mention about Bekabad Cement, which goes with 12%, Kuvasai Cement, it goes with 10% respectively at the UZEX platform. Let's go and look more properly at the cement brands. And as for the brands of cement, there are also certain changes compared to the last year. Thus, the display and sale of the most popular cement PC400D20 through the exchange decreased, as a result of which its market share dipped from 28 to 16%, as we can see on the graph. The leading positions in turn were taken by PC the second, which goes with 22%. The second position here is taken by PC the second AI 32.5N brand, which goes with 20%, as we can see on the diagram. And third top leadership position definitely here is taken by SSPC M400 D20, which is another demandable brand at the UZEX exchange trade platform, and this is going with 11% on the diagram, especially in the segment of cement. It's worth to mention about definitely PC M400 D20. As we mentioned before, it decreased its position. It used to be the best performer, but for the moment it takes 16% in the segment of cement. Definitely PPS M400 goes with 7%, PC M400 KD20 6%, and PC 400 KD30 goes with 8% respectively at the UZEX exchange trade platform. Let's go and look more properly the local cement price dynamics, and let us consider the price dynamics for all the brands of local cement. In general, despite the multi-directional trend throughout the entire period, prices for cement were formed exclusively according to the market rules of supply and demand. Thus, for this period from January to April, the cement market remained stable. At the beginning of the year, in particular from February to April, the prices fell from 590,000 sums down to 537,000 sums per ton. However, in the following months, growing dynamics formed on the market, which was associated with a significant increase in cement demand. This trend continued till the months of July this year. It was in July that the exchange price for cement of all brands averaged 822,000 sums per ton, as we can see on the graph, which is the maximum value for the current year, as we can see on the diagram. At the same time, thanks to measures to increase the supply of cement on the market, including the simplification of the import of cement into the country, prices began to decline, which we can clearly see in the graph. So in the months of July, October this year, prices fell from 822,000 soums down to 583,000 soums per ton, or almost the market lost about 30%. It should be noted that the decrease in price, especially in the recent months, is facilitated not only by an increase in the displaying of goods on the exchange trades, but also by a decrease in demand due to the end of the constructional season. In conclusion, we'll consider the structure of buyers for all brands of cement in the context of regions. We'll note the regions where the demand was relatively higher. It's worth to mention about metropolitan area, Tashkent and Tashkent region, which is the best performer on consuming cement. And definitely, as we can see on the diagram, Tashkent and Tashkent region goes with almost 22% on consuming cement. The second position here is taken by Samarkand region, which goes with 13.5% on consuming cement. And third top leadership position here is taken by Surkhandar region, which goes with 10.3% on consuming cement at the UZEX exchange trade platform. Kashkadarya and Bukhara regions occupied about 9% of the market. So it's worth to mention about Kashkadarya region, which goes with 9.4%, and definitely Bukhara region, it goes with 8.9% on consuming cement at the UZEX exchange trade platform. The share of other regions is comparatively lower. These were all comments for today. Thank you for watching us and being with us. Do join us next week on UzReport TV channel, and surely with our website at www.uzex.uz. See you next week. Bye.